Hi, this is Terry Kavanaugh, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 191, and it is a full moon in the sky. That's right, that's why it's so bright in your room. Open those curtains, have a look, and that means it is our Moon and Stars segment, so Moon Knight on film. And tonight, we'll be talking about Moon Knight, the cast, what we know. And joining me is fellow High Priestess Khonshu, Rebecca. Rebecca's returned. Hello, Rebecca, how are you?
Hello. Right. Good. Looking
Excellent.
forward to it.
Yeah.
Psyched up for this this show now.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we're getting there. As always, listeners, a big thank you to our patroonies. I'd like to Daniel, Justin, Derek, Wayne, Jordan, Josh, James, Russell, and Anthony. Thank you so much. And you too can become a patroonie as well. So please just consider our Patreon page. Also, big sponsors, The Fringe Night by Daniel Doing, Hello Headphones, empowering gamers to play at their best, and Dreamland Comics, the superhero superstore. So Rebecca, here we are. Here we are, trying to learn as we go along, and to give something of an introduction to listeners who may want to know more about the actors that will be part of the Moon Knight TV show.
Yes, as we do. Starting to get properly psyched up for it now.
Yeah.
Like, who would have imagined when you started the podcast, and I just hijacked it, that there would actually be a Disney Plus with Moon Knight on it, with Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight.
It's crazy.
Like, imagine telling us those years ago.
I know, it's crazy. I'm thinking those years ago though, did Star Wars, had that come out, the ones with Oscar Isaac? Was he well known?
I think so.
We started 2017.
Well, he was well enough known.
Okay.
He was he'd done a few things like that were quite high profile, but also we were still very much thinking in terms of Netflix Marvel. Mm-hmm. So
yes. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, I do see some dates here. So just bear in mind, Loonies, just from what Rebecca did. So we started about, August 2017, this podcast. So
you would know that.
Yeah. But I've got here, look, I'm just going to jump to it. So Oscar Isaac in X-Men Apocalypse 2016. We just missed that. But he was in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, 2017, as per Dameron. So... so we did know him. Sorry, we did know him.
We knew him, and he'd been in
Force Awakens 2015. Yeah, Ex Machina. Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. Yeah,
but I guess to be honest, like 2017, I wouldn't have. Look, if you had asked me, there's going to be a Moon Knight TV show. Oscar Isaac wasn't on my periphery of actors, I guess, because as you say, we're doing their whole Netflix thing. Yeah. But anyway, that's great. Yeah. I mean, because he's such a big actor. Yeah. So anyway, listeners, we're going to go through just the three main actors that we kind of know. Again, two of them have been confirmed. Oscar still hasn't been officially confirmed. But, we're just going to have to run with it.
We're still taking it as confirmed. I'm sorry, like when the directors say they're directing him in Moon Knight, that's confirmation for me. Yeah. And it doesn't get removed by Marvel. And that's confirmed for me.
Exactly. So I've just got some courtesy of Wikipedia and IMDb. This is the extent of my research. Rebecca, can I ask you maybe if you go through the movies, and I'll do the spiel at the beginning, and we can just work out the other stuff. All right. So Oscar Isaac, for those that don't know, well, many people don't know, shares a birthday with someone very special to the show as well, March 9. That being me. Rebecca.
What can I say? He's 9 years younger than me, bless him. Which puts him firmly in the not creepy to think he's cute category.
But yeah, he was born March 9th, 1 year after me, 1979. Oscar Isaac Hernandez Estrada. in Guatemala. His mum was Guatemalan, and he's got a Cuban father as well. A pulmonologist.
Yes.
Pulmonaries. That's all I'm thinking of, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, cool. He was raised in Miami, Florida, so he's not adverse to, nice tropical conditions. And funnily enough, what I found interesting, Rebecca, before he was an actor, he played lead guitar and vocals, sang vocals
I've seen
in a
there's
band.
been some
Blinking Underdogs. Yeah?
Yeah, there's been some circulating video of it recently. So
have you heard it or seen it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it by your reaction? It's probably not to your musical taste, or
I think it's very much a sort of juvenile band, but seems
right.
fine.
Yeah. Okay, because it's so funny. I'd assuming when they put this in here, before he became, I guess he became an actor when he was really young. I just assumed that. I assumed that he kind of started acting a bit later in life, but no.
Well, it says here he went to Juilliard in 2005.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's probably.
So that's
when he graduated. So he'd been acting for a few years there.
So very much a juvenile band, and the Blinking Underdogs. A great name there. And just finally, just with covering overall things, he has a son, and his wife is Elvira Lind. She's a Danish director.
Yep. So, look, he's been in a lot of films, so let's cover some of them.
Yes, he has been a lot more. Yeah.
So his first film was in 2006 as Joseph in the Nativity Story, so he's played a Jewish character before.
That was a good pickup. There you go. He That's
played
probably
Che Guevara.
Yeah.
In 2011.
I think there's your Mark Spector right there. So he's got these first two. Speak of Moon Knight straight away. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, and then I think the one he was first noticed in by a lot of us was the Coen Brothers Inside Llewyn Davis.
I haven't watched that. I like the Coen Brothers.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, and it's got a ginger cat. Ray, watch it.
Oh, really?
Love it.
Ginger cat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow,
it's
I've never
important.
Heard
Okay. And then he was in Most Violent Year, and then Ex Machina, which I think is the one where, I saw him in Inside Llewyn Davis, but then Ex Machina is probably the one that propelled him into a lot of people's vision.
Everyone
talks
Star
Wars.
Yeah, everyone was talking about that movie.
He was doing it when he was cast in Star Wars.
Okay.
So he was filming it because he did it with Dominic, what's his name? The other guy who was in Star Wars. Apparently they both found out they were cast, but couldn't really talk to each other about it. And stuff like that.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, very funny. And then obviously the Star Wars Force Awakens, where he was supposed to die, but then he was so charismatic they didn't kill him. Mm-hmm. And then Last Jedi, and whatever the most recent one is. Which I don't know why that's not listed, but he was in that one as well.
Skywalker or something? No, what was it called? The Last Skywalker? No, I don't know. What's it called?
Yeah,
The Rise of Skywalker.
There we go. Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why that isn't listed there, but he was clearly playing Poe in all of them.
Yeah.
And also there's a comic, Shattered Empire, which was the lead up to Force Awakens, and it's all about Poe's family. And because of his Guatemalan background, they made the planet he was from very that kind of had all those influences. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
And then criminally underused in X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh my gosh.
Where he makes the comment about being like a god while being almost naked, and then they put on all the prosthetics. It's criminal. It's literally criminal to have a semi-naked Oscar Isaac and cover him as. But it was just, to me, not a great film.
Yeah,
because it was messy. It was messy.
Yeah, I watched it once. I watched it once, and actually, I enjoyed it. Okay, in the cinemas. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't fantastic.
I enjoyed it fine, but I think it didn't have a lot of scope. It was very basic. Yeah, and he was great in it, but everyone I thought was all right in it, but it just didn't. It wasn't as good as I would have liked it to be, and it was a shame. But the good news is, because he was heavily made up, he gets to be in other things.
Yeah. True. He gets to hide behind that blue. Speaking also of which, just backtracking, Rebecca, as well, there was a comic book as well, wasn't there? Poe Dameron that was released.
Yes. There is also a Poe Dameron one that came out after Force Awakens.
Yeah. So again, just showing the charisma and the quality that he brought to the character.
Love of the character.
It just elevated that character.
He was in Show Me a Hero, the HBO miniseries, which is very, and got him a Golden Globe Award.
Yeah, and 2001 though, cool. As well. 2015.
He got one.
2001 though, he was in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. I would be interested to.
I'm not counting that because almost everyone's been in a Law and Order or a CS. I'm showing he was the villain of the week. I'm talking about if you wanted to go watch his stuff, it's actually a pretty good mini-series. It's a political one about housing, and it's it's quite interesting.
Okay, so that one that you have seen, yeah,
I have seen, and he's just filmed another one, which is why Moon Knight didn't start filming earlier. I think it was originally going to start filming in February, but they're just he's I can't remember what the title is, but he's in one that will probably come out before Moon Knight.
Busy man. Telling Disney, hang on, guys, just hold up, wait up. I need to finish this. I've made commitments.
One Oscar, I think it was only by a few weeks. I think if it was a long commitment, then it's a different thing.
Okay.
A lot of magazines have seemed to, he's got a lot of accolades.
He does.
Time put him on the Time 100 list in 2016. Vanity Fair called him the best actor of his generation.
Best dang actor of his generation.
All right. But and 2020, New York Times gave him number 14 in their list of 21st greatest actors in the 21st century.
That's a pretty big deal, though, isn't it?
I think that's a pretty big deal. I haven't gone to look at the rest of them, but that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean regardless of whoever makes
it, headlining Moon Knight. So
yeah, exactly, and whoever makes up the 25 greatest, whatever. But the fact that he's considered, even in that kind of ilk of the 25 is pretty damn good. And you're right, and we have him for Moon Knight, which is just really going to put the character. Can't emphasize that enough. Going to put the character on the map, really. Unless it's dare I say a train wreck. Most
important to me is they get a good actor, because to cover the DID stuff and to sell the Khonshu stuff, I think you need somebody who is a really good solid actor. I would definitely recommend everyone see Ex Machina.
I want to, for sure.
Inside Llewyn Davis, if you want the sort of more gentle side.
Okay.
I think they're both, and Show Me a Hero's him playing a politician, so it's a little bit less. Like sparky, or to see where that would connect with Moon Knight, but
his acting chops would be well
shows he's there. Not. It also shows he's not averse to premiere kind of HBO type TV shows, which is one of the reasons he probably accepted Moon Knight. It's clearly a reason he's into it. Like people like that don't have the choice of roles.
Yeah, no, for
sure.
No, that's good. Just a couple of minor mentions here for bit movie parts. I'm just building up to this one at the end. Had a small part in All About the Benjamins, 2002. The Life Before Her Eyes, 2007. So everyone, check out all these things, okay? What Rebecca and I are saying. Check it out. Body of Lies, 2008. So he acted alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe. Heavyweights you're talking about. Agora, 2009 with Rachel Weisz. But here, I wanted to say, 2009, he did an Australian film, which I didn't know. I found this quite interesting. And he played a former president of East Timor, set amid the Indonesian invasion of East Timor in 1975. He won the Australian Film Institute Award for Best Supporting Actor. So, nothing screams...
Ray, I love you. Yeah. I love you. I love Australia. I don't feel this is like you feel...
No, Rebecca, look, you haven't made it until you have won the Australian Film Institute Award for Best Supporting Actor. So that's fantastic. I mean, Oscar has proven himself now. He's up there with the big guns. So.
Yeah, forget the Golden Globe.
So
all
there you go.
Awards are good awards. Never turn down an award. So good for him. Hopefully he'll get one for Moon Knight.
Exactly. So I believe Balibo 2009. That's it. So just check that out, everyone.
Everyone check out this film that you're almost certain not to be able to get hold of. Unless you're in Australia, maybe.
I've watched it 10 times. No, I haven't. So that was Oscar Isaac. That's a very kind of a nice intro there. Just rewind what we were saying, slow us down if you want to get the titles, or I can just put this all in the show notes. It's probably what I'll do.
Yeah.
That's probably a lot easier for you. So next, Rebecca, we're going to go to, this was the first official announcement for Moon Knight, which was really cool.
I love.
Yes, and so we have May Kalamaui.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but she's, they released next to nothing of her, to be honest, Rebecca, and there was just a photo of her, just like, oh, cool, like, yeah, I can see her.
She looks
playing.
fantastic. So,
I reckon I can see her, playing Moon Knight. And then a lot of speculation because, of course, this was the first announcement, and it was a female actor. Is she Marlene? Then who else could she be?
Yeah, I think we had we ran that down a bit last time, and she's apparently Palestinian Egyptian, which is just cool. It's a cool combo. Yep. I see from this October 28th, 1986, so that makes her 7 years younger than him, 7.5 years younger than him. Not particularly gross in terms of like you see. No, I mean actually that's like for TV and film that's. If she is going to play a love interest, that's pretty bang on
within the strike zone. Yep.
Yeah, like.
Do you know anyone?
I like that her birthday is almost Halloween.
Yeah, I was about to say. Do you know anyone? October 28th. Can we link that with anyone? No, I can't think of anyone. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, we can. We'll link it as nearly Halloween.
Nearly Halloween. Yeah. So she's a. Cancer, is that it? I don't know Scorpio. She's a Scorpio.
Yeah, she must be Scorpio because it's November 1st. So.
Yeah. She completed her undergrad in acting at Emerson College, and she continued her studies at William Esper. So Emerson sounds good, Rebecca.
As if either of us know.
I know. Maybe the American.
Maybe it's won an Australian award.
Could be. Well, Yeah, that was what I was looking for, the Australian Film Institute award.
It doesn't recognise because it's not in Australia, so we'll assume it's all right.
Yeah. But she actually, again, in my notes, she actually has done a lot more. I should pull up, done a lot more of this. But the notes that I have, she has done a fair bit of TV, which is where she kind of...
it makes a lot of sense as well,
So mainly known for most recently the Hulu series, Rami, which is pretty cool. Or we were talking about it just prior, Rebecca.
I've not seen it because we don't have Hulu here.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get it as part of our Disney Plus eventually because we've got this Star thing. Well, both of us, you and me, we get Star added to our Disney Plus soon, which is supposed to have Hulu stuff on. It's not in the launch programs for the UK. It might be in there for Australia.
Yeah, it's on one of our other platforms. So we have Stan.
Yeah, so I've not had that yet. So, but that's definitely on my radar. I would like to see it before Moon Knight. But I mean, mostly I've only heard good things about her.
Yeah.
So, pretty confident in Marvel casting. And,
me too. I think so as well. National Geographic's The Long Road Home. That sounds... so she played Phaser there. And CBS's... So, she's done a lot with different networks. FBI was a TV... 2018, Nita Kayali, and Madam Secretary. I have not heard of these at all. Mona.
I've heard of Madam Secretary, but I never don't know anything about it.
So she's been very busy because this was around. This is we're talking about 2017 to 2020.
She's had a lot of work in
Yeah, so she's been constantly just doing. And NBC's The Brave, that was 2017 as well. So she was doing 1, 2, 3. I can see 3 different networks. She was doing 3 different shows in 2017. And 2019 to 2020 was Rami, 2018 FBO. So she's consistently doing it. Also, as well, movie-wise, there's only 2 here that have come up. 2006, that goes a way back. She went by a different name, Rebecca. Before it's very slight. I think it's May L Kalamaui, so like an L in between. Yeah. So she was in Thursday, a role of Kelly Spencer, and 2013, which kind of got my attention. It's called Jin, and she's Aisha. She's the main villain in that. She's like a Egyptian bad spirit or evil spirit or something. That's my kind of understanding. I watched the trailer. It's all set in Egypt. I just remembered The Long Road Home is based around the Iraq War, isn't it? Yes. Well, I only say that because I saw the poster. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's probably not the one I'll jump on to see.
Mm-hmm. I reckon a good horror, Rebecca. Go for Jin. I don't know. Do you like you don't like your horror, do you?
Horror.
No, you don't.
Just leave me alone. I watch Rami when I can.
Oh yeah, watch that one. It's a lot better. And incidentally, also as well, I thought this was pretty damn cool. Last year, 2020, pandemic and all, she did voice acting in a video game, NBA 2K21, and she played the role of Ellie Mullick. So May Kalamaui just keeping busy, doing what she needs to do, and that's great.
So this will be pretty big for her.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we look at this, if you look at, taking nothing away, obviously, the IMDb database, just like that, joining the MCU in any respect is pretty big deal. Absolutely. So let's hope, just rounding out May Kalamaui. Rebecca, any final thoughts on who you reckon she will be?
I really don't know.
I guess.
Marlene does seem likely in terms of announcing casting.
Yeah.
But I just don't know the fact that she's. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the safe bet.
I like the
Khonshu
Marlene. Guess. I like. The
Khonshu would be cool. Actually, that would play in with Jin.
I just don't see Khonshu being as much of a big role. I don't know.
Not the big bad?
Khonshu would have... No, I don't think Khonshu would be the big... We know that... No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I just see, if they're going to announce the lead character, it should be Marlene.
Yeah.
But,
That's true. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Touch wood it isn't, but, she could well be... I think we joked about it before, didn't we? She's like, extra number 3, which I doubt.
It's unlikely.
Yeah, exactly. She's going to be killed off in the sequence.
You can speculate any woman that is in the Mark Spector canon or Khonshu, that'll work. But yeah, I imagine she has a fairly large role, whatever it is.
How cool would it be, Rebecca? I'm just thinking, CIA, what if she's that character that we reviewed?
Yeah, I know, right?
How cool is that?
When we were doing that book, I was going, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. She had I think she had a literate name, something.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And that would be a really obscure...
And it would work as well, yeah.
It would work, yeah. But it would be a nice little nod. The fans will be going, oh my God, she's playing such and such. I can't even remember her name. But yes, that's true. I'm going to stick with Marlene.
Delighted to welcome her to the Marvel Universe in Moon Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I am. I think it's exciting. It's nice.
Me too. I'd welcome that character with open arms.
It's nice. You're always going to get some people you're not as familiar with, and I think that's quite exciting. Yeah, because it means you're kind of discovering them. So
exactly. So I don't know anything else to say about May. I think she's. Out of the 3, she has probably the least. We have the least to say, only because she's
which seems bad, but she's new, and
Yeah, but she'll have.
We'll love her. We'll pull her in. She'll become part of the family.
we'll get her on the show.
Yeah.
Hello, Looney listeners. This is Ray here. Just wanting to say, look. If you like Moon Knight, I urge you to give the Fringe Night a go. This is a self-published indie release by creator and writer Daniel Doing, and it's a ripper of a read. The Fringe Knight is an adventure comic series set in Erie, Pennsylvania, and the series stars the title character who protects his city from every threat imaginable, from radioactive wolfmen to mad scientists putting poodles in giant robots. The Fringe Knight is there to protect. Definitely worth checking out. I highly recommend it. Available, just check out the show notes in this episode, but Fringe Knight has a Facebook page as well as a Patreon page, and you can also find all the comics on indieplanet.com. So check out Fringe Knight by Daniel Doing. Alright, let's get on to the show. And so finally, not to be overshadowed, not for any of these other actors to be overshadowed, Ethan Hawke, this was a major announcement.
I mean, this is huge.
It
was a huge announcement because also he'd been a bit disparaging about the MCU.
True.
Well, about superhero films, not actually about the MCU.
Yeah. And look, if I can say as well, Rebecca and I, you and I, we are familiar with Ethan Hawke. He may not be actually that well known to the younger generation.
That's interesting. Because to us, he's we grew up with him.
Yeah, exactly. And he was big for me around the 90s, but then I'm reminded...
Then Poet Society and all of that.
But I'm reminded of how long ago that was. So, for newer listeners, younger listeners who may not be familiar, big Moon Knight fans, Ethan Hawke is he was in the ilk of River Phoenix. They mentioned that as well. I'm assuming around Keanu Reeves, about that kind of contemporary.
Yeah, I mean, you would have named them. I mean, he's 1970, so he's my age.
Mm.
There goes another connection.
November 6th. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, about
November
the 6th.
But Scorpio though, collecting Scorpios from Moon Knight.
Ooh, bit of hark back to Defenders there. Scorpio and the Zodiac.
The Zodiac,
so Ethan Hawke is a big name. Not only that, Rebecca, he does a lot of theatre. He writes
and
as well.
He writes. He's a novelist. He was one of the rumoured people up for Doctor Strange.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And look, I've got a mountain of information here from him. We're not going to go through it all. As you mentioned, Rebecca...
We're not going to go through it, yeah.
No, as you mentioned...
a lot.
Yeah. Dead Poet Society, 1989. Reality Bites, that was for me. That was when I really first knew of him.
And the whole Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And later on in the 90s, Gattaca, where...
God, I love Gattaca.
Yeah, it's a fantastic sci-fi movie. That's where he met Uma Thurman. People
he's famous for having been married to Uma Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dad of Maya Hawke, who was in Stranger Things.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Stranger Things series. Series 3.
Yes, I do. I did know. Yes, I did. Yeah.
The waitress. Yeah, that was his daughter.
Oh, wow.
That is his daughter. He's no longer with Uma Thurman. He's now with someone else.
Ryan.
But it was all very equitable.
Oh, yeah. And actually...
happy.
Can I do a little bit of gossip here, Rebecca?
Yeah.
I don't know, even a gossip. Also, I looked up his current wife, right? She's a director, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very similar to Uma Thurman. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, if you go check it. Anyway, Training Day as well, 2001, and he's won numerous awards: Academy, BAFTA, Golden Globe, SAG Award. Nominations as well. Unfortunately, missing there is the Australian Institute of Film.
So I mean, I can see there being a bit of jealousy there, which is an Oscar.
Bit of competition there.
But that was for Boyhood. So if you remember Boyhood, the one they filmed over 20 years.
Oh wow! Yeah, okay.
Then that's.
Isn't that the same as? Again, I'm going off on a tangent here, Rebecca. Did you ever watch 7 Up?
Yeah.
That was such a compelling yet also sad. Yeah. Do you remember Neil?
Really,
Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
anyway.
such a good series.
So again,
it's very interesting for that. So.
And also, so he wrote some novels as well. You know, just as you do.
And he's got a new one out this year.
Oh, yes, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, two novels: 1996, The Hottest State, and Ash Wednesday, 2002. But Rebecca, you had this pretty cool thing that you were privy to.
Yeah, I am. He's written a new book. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called because I'm terrible, but I should.
That's all right. Okay, I can chuck in the show notes. It is whatever it's called in the show notes. Yeah,
we'll chuck it in the show notes. It's I know it's about acting. It's about somebody who appears in a Shakespeare play.
Right.
And so yeah, I know what the book's about. I just didn't pay attention to what it's actually called.
Yeah, sure.
Because I figured I could look that up. You know.
Yeah.
But it sounds very good. A Bright Ray of Darkness. There you go.
I just saw it as well.
He's also written a comic, Indy. Story of the Apache Wars.
Oh, okay.
So I've got that graphic novel signed.
Oh, yeah. That's great. 2016.
Yep. So, yeah. So somebody online, somebody like one of these sort of film Twitter people, had this competition to win a ticket to hear him talk at the South Bank Centre, which is a big arts centre here. He was to launch his book. And obviously, you know, at the time it was probably set up before COVID, but because it was COVID, it was all Zoom stuff. So I got this kind of link to his being interviewed about his book. And he's just an incredible person to listen to. Cool. Like, he knows so much about, like, he reads so much. He's very thoughtful. Like, they were asking him about male toxicity and being a dad to girls and, you know, being raised by his mother because his dad left when he was like 5. Why he wanted to write about acting, because he'd previously, like, wanted to avoid writing about acting. You know, like, what kind of insight he could give to it. And they didn't ask about Moon Knight or anything like that. So it was more like, the sense you got, like, he's just been in a TV show about John Adams. Am I?
Oh, the composer?
No.
Oh, okay.
John Brown, the Good Lord Bird. He's just been in.
Ah.
So, God, you look at his actual. But he's been in tons of plays as well. Like, he's done Henry IV and Macbeth and stuff like that.
Well, he's saying that the theatre is his passion, right? So
yeah, he has a theatre company.
Yeah.
That he, you know, pays for and stuff like that. So he's just so intelligent, and like the books he picks as his favourite books are just very considered.
Cool.
But he showed the pile of books that he'd read to before he'd taken on this role as John Brown. And I'm like, I bet he's got like another stack of Moon Knight ones behind. Like, but it's just like, as we're saying to somebody on the Facebook page, like, he seems like the kind of person who really does read everything he can.
I know, that's
and
so cool though.
There isn't that much Moon Knight.
Yeah,
like you could easily do it. So I expect whoever he's playing, he will have read a lot about them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
So that was one cool thing. And then I went and listened to him on a podcast about just acting in general. And they actually did ask him about Moon Knight.
That's cool. Do you remember the name of the podcast?
No, but let me go look it up on the Facebook page, on Discord, because I think I chucked it all in there.
Okay.
Let's have a look. I'll chuck the link into the show notes. You've got it there.
Okay.
It's called The Watch with Chris Ryan and Andy Greenwald.
Okay. Excellent.
And it was mostly about the Good Lord Bird, which is this show he's in now. But right at the end, they asked him about Moon Knight, so like the last sort of 10 minutes.
Was he amenable to it, or was he just?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
I mean, like, they started off by asking him about whatchamacallit. They started off asking him a little bit about what he'd said about the Marvel universe.
Yes. Yeah. What did he say?
He was really non-specific about it. Like, they asked him, "You said these things before," and it was really more about, like I said, it was less about. He said it more about superhero films, and it's not. He didn't actually say anything particularly offensive, but it's one of those sort of clickbaity things that people can make offensive. Like,
sure.
He basically said. I mean, what he reiterated for the podcast, I think, is pretty much what he said, which was like, people who consider films art and who are very into acting and stuff like that, and that's obviously, I think they are concerned about that the only films people are going to see are blockbusters. And he didn't mention Marvel in this one. Like, I think when he was asked originally, he did. Yeah. But he mentioned things like Jaws.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was like, if he was talking about films where there's not as many quiet moments. Yeah. Like, it's all you're going to the next explosion or the next big shock.
Yeah, it's just a different sort of film. I mean, there's
he said, right, so I was typing bits about into the Discord, so I can give you little quotes. Yeah. Like, I have no problem with them as movies. They're part of but it is part of a legacy of how much shit can we blow up. And that's the danger for me as an elder statesman, is it gets harder to watch the cries and the whispers. So what he's basically saying is that he wants there to be a mix. He wants you to be able to have the auteur films, the Coen brother ones, the quiet films that are studies of like individual things, but also obviously there is a place for that. He just doesn't want that to be people's only experience of film.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think like with Martin Scorsese, that's also what he said, is like people misinterpret it because they like to do the big clickbait thing.
Yeah.
But what they're really what a lot of these people of our generation are saying is, we would like people to be able to experience everything.
Yeah.
The big, for us it would have been E.T. and Spider-Man and Gremlins, Jaws. Yeah. But we had a lot of the other stuff because there wasn't as much cinema. But like, cinema's expensive now. People have the option. What Martin Scorsese was saying was like, when you have Netflix and you have a computer deciding what you should watch next by its algorithm with what it's recommending to you, you don't know what you're missing. And he's not necessarily saying that's terrible, but what he's saying is you don't know what you're missing. So it would help if there were still people that could just sort of say, you like this, maybe you like that, and widen your options. And I think it's something we're debating generally is that like, we have so many options. How do you decide?
Well, that's the thing I was about to say. I think that's one of the things that does come out of it is the other options. I mean, with Netflix, if you take away the algorithm sort of thing, I mean, there are some great, some really good films in there.
UK Netflix has just added like hundreds of Scandinavian films, from like black and white silent films to modern. And they're not going to get recommended to me because I've not watched any other Scandinavian films on that. So like,
but I mean, the point is that they're there. I mean, so you can trawl through
once you know they're there. Yeah, so it's just like that, and then it becomes overwhelming. And like, we're talking about, like, you and I grew up when there were a limited number of channels.
Oh,
and,
for sure. Yeah.
Maybe a couple of blockbusters a year, 2 or 3 a year. So things have changed, and I don't think it's that unusual to hear people who are older.
Yes. Elder statesmen, as Ethan said.
As he put it, yeah. It's like, but whether you consider them old fuddy-duddies or elder statesmen, that's totally up to you.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, but we have seen a lot change in our lifetime, and for some of us it is a struggle to get used to that. And you'll have seen it with your parents and your grandparents struggling with the internet and the importance it plays in our lives now. So, I think you have to give people a little bit of leeway, but like, I even put it in my notes is that I think he's really deflecting from talking about Moon Knight. He really doesn't want to say anything about Moon Knight.
Well, that's he's a veteran. He knows how to kind of deflect.
He really knows how to deflect. He's going to be very good at that. So, but they did pin him down on what made Moon Knight the decision for him to cross over into that. And you've got to remember, this is a guy who's not wanting for money. He's not, I mean, like, I know Gary Oldman said that he always does one for money, one for art.
Okay.
So, like, there is some actors will definitely say, I just did it for money so I could fund this, or I just did it for that.
Yeah.
But like, no, he actually didn't do that, which I thought was very interesting. Like, number one, he said he was really excited to be in a show with Oscar Isaac. So that was number one selling point for him.
And can I stop you there as... Yeah,
and he said...
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Oh, no, and it just said, yeah, and again, so he's another person that's confirmed Oscar Isaac, but we're still waiting. But anyway.
Yeah. No, he definitely confirmed Oscar Isaac. He said that he was very excited to be in a show with Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
He said, a lot of it is Oscar to me, to be honest with you. I find him to be a very exciting player in my field. He's younger than me, but I look up to him.
That's
which
cool.
I thought was like, yeah, I mean... So that's number one.
Sorry, Rebecca, can I stop you there as well?
Yes.
Like Oscar Isaac, okay, look, I'm just going to throw it out there. I haven't seen Ex Machina or anything like that. So is he, like he's getting praises from Ethan Hawke. Like, is he acting? I've only seen him in Apocalypse.
Please see Ex Machina.
Okay.
And Inside Llewyn Davis. So it's like 2 films, just see his range.
Okay, cool.
Like, because honestly, Inside Llewyn Davis is... Ex Machina is the one that you'll be like, oh, he can do the intensity of Moon Knight.
Because I'm excited. If like the likes of Ethan Hawke are saying this,
right?
They're really painting big numbers for Oscar Isaac. So yeah.
I mean, like that's what really stood out to me. It's just like, wow, like Oscar was the one that, and then he said he really loves Mohammed Diab.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to work with him anyway, and he's a serious artist. So he's already positioning Moon Knight as like. This is he doesn't see it as the sort of Jaws blockbustery kind of thing. Yeah. And then he said it's also where I'm at as an actor right now. I don't know what that means, but whatever. I love the fact that Moon Knight's a lesser known story and allows more creative freedom.
I love that. I love that quote actually.
Yeah. So
because it's true. I mean, he doesn't have that pressure that the likes of, the big Hulk and Spider-Man have.
And Doctor Strange and whatever. Yeah. It's just like... But it also shows that maybe they're going to be taking some risks in it, which I like.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Yep. Right, and then the next thing was him talking about the whole blockbuster thing again.
Okay.
And he was talking about, like... So the way he phrased it was, you have to make your time period better. You can change things from within... I'm trying to do good work with the time that I've been given, and there's a place for Adopt a Highway, which is what he'd been talking about, kind of what we'd call work for hire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sort of the working within an IP.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, and again, you've got to remember, like, he doesn't need the work, but like it's that it was an opportunity to work with people he wanted to work with, and that he intends to bring the art to this.
Oh, look,
he says it in a non-annoying way. Like, he doesn't sound smug and awful and this is below me, but I'm like, he really honestly was like genuinely excited about it.
Yeah. And because
but he has that way of like huge deflection. Like, you have to like really dig in and like work in what he said.
Yeah. And just because of the way he's kind of put it, the way that you've mentioned it as well, I seriously I hope that Disney Plus and Marvel will do a good job with Moon Knight. I'm sure they will, but yeah, it's just like I'm
certainly
hoping...
sounds like the team behind it think they will. Like the pitch to the actors, was good. So
so Jeremy Slater, Mohammed Diab,
we still have to open the fact that, like, look, not everyone's going to like it. I'm sure there'll be things that we don't like about it or a bit more questionable about it. But it sounds like for the actors and for the directors and for the writers or whatever, there was a good pitch, which excites me. And the fact that they have this quality of actor.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Moon Knight, there's a lot of scope there to really take risks and do something a little bit different because he is kind of detached. Yeah, you look at what Legion did. Yes,
you look
exactly.
at what WandaVision's done. I'm not saying any of them are high arts. But it doesn't matter. No, I mean,
and the fact Ethan wants to do, as much good work as he can. He said, well, the time he's got here as well, I'm sure he's gonna throw himself into it, invest in it.
And that excites me is that
that can elevate.
He wants to go in and do the absolute best work he can, and he can do some pretty bloody good work.
So he sounds like a very good asset for the show. We'll
and
just
the fact that he'll be out there on the press junket for the show, also excites because he's
so. How cool is that?
Right. Like having him and Oscar, and and they're from people we know who are great at press. So that's kind of exciting as well.
That's awesome. So there you go, Loonies. Just an overview of 3 big names of the Moon Knight TV show coming up. This being our Moon and Stars, we thought we'd just give you a bit of an introduction to the 3. I mean, we're learning as well. It's great that Rebecca, that you caught on to that podcast and to the interview as well. So exciting times ahead for the TV show, and certainly can't wait. A big thanks, Rebecca, for jumping again. That's so cool. It's so good to hear your speculations as well, to hear your excitement.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting, every time that we talk about it, I get more and more excited.
I can't believe it's filming really immediately soon. So.
If any loonies are in Budapest, please drop us a line. Let us know.
Guarantee if it comes to London, I'm there. If I'm allowed out the house.
Yeah. Oh, Rebecca, you're going to have to be our eyes in the sky for that one. Yeah, for sure. A big thank you once again, Rebecca. Spectacle-wise, look, no feedback, of course, because this is just something that we are recording earlier on. Again, I will put up a thread just for people to talk about. Oscar, May, and Ethan. We're all on first name basis here, so
and we tend to stay that way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Spectacle, Rebecca, you've got a couple of things brewing. Actually, one thing that you've just recorded earlier on, and a great series coming out for another comic book character.
Yes, I just recorded the DCAU podcast on Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Ooh.
Yeah, we just took a pause and had a look at the game. So that was fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, not entirely. I argue that it's not part of the DC animated universe.
Yes.
And Alan argues that it possibly is because it's animated. So, but he got me to watch all the... Yeah, I agree. And Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist is discussing Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon, the new 6-issue miniseries for Iron Fist by Larry Hama and David Wachter, who's an amazing artist.
I'm very excited.
I've never heard of before, but I think the art's incredible. I think the art is, and the colouring is top notch.
Yeah, I cannot say enough good things about this series as well. There's only one issue in that I've read. The second one's out, as you say, Rebecca. I've yet to read it, but I'm so excited by this series. So highly urge both of these podcasts to be listened to. Sons of the Dragon, really good stuff for the Iron Fist there, and DCAU for those gamers or those completionists who want to know about all animated stuff from the DC universe. Go check it out. Of course, again, links in the show notes. Next phase, Loonies, episode 192. It's another idle chat again. We'll be looking at Moon Knight in crossover events in the comics, so that will be a fun thing. And special guest will be Daniel Doing. So you've probably heard his name bandied about. He's the creator of Fringe Knight. It's a self-published comic book, and he's a valued patroni as well. So it'd be very fun to get Daniel on and to chat about crossover events.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah, should be great. Patrons, of course, as well. If you can check out patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight, just please have a look, peruse the incentives there. It's a lot of fun, and everything. You're listening even is a great thing. So any support is greatly accepted. Sponsored by Hello Headphones. If you use the code ITK Moon Knight, you'll get 10% off their online store. So go pick up yourself some audio headsets. Dreamland Comics, if you use the code MOON, you'll get 20% off their store, so that's for back issues of any comics that you may want as well. And again, I mentioned Fringe Knight by Daniel Doing, a really cool self-published. I think issue 4 is in the works, it's almost out, so he's been dropping some progress on the issue 4 artworks, which is pretty cool. We're affiliate members with Entertainment Earth, so get all your action figure needs there. Just click the links, and that will help the show as well. And finally, we are part of the collective, so as mentioned, Rebecca, the Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast, one of the collective members. Great show, but also the likes of We Are Venomaniacs, a Venom podcast, and pick another one, Atalan Rising, a comic book podcast. All good, all great stuff for all your comic book needs. And Rebecca, I know you and I have been listening to Atalan Rising for a while. Very cool.
I'm a big Inhumans fan. What can I say?
Yes, Adam and Lynn do a great job over there. And finally, you can contact us, email itkmoonnight@gmail.com. We're on Facebook page and group. We've got Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Get Vocal. We've got a website and Podchaser as well. So if you feel like leaving a rating, please do. It's always great to hear from you, or we can always happy to improve the show as well. So once again, Rebecca, we've got to have you back on again. I know they're very busy.
Next time we have some TV news, maybe a few weeks' time.
Oh yeah, okay. So let's make that a thing. So if there is a big announcement,
sometime in March, if there's an announcement, we'll do a briefing.
We'll try to get a young Khonshu with us as well.
Do that definitely, and also we'd like you on the DCAU podcast.
Oh yeah, I'll give that a go. I love learning a bit more about the DC. And the animated stuff is dare I say really good. So for sure. Anyway, Loonies, that's it from us, and as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. See you later.
Take care, bye-bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.